Hello and welcome to Kick Talk Reboot. This week's results: McBookie.com Super League Premier, Athley 3, Robbery 1, Oven Meadow 2, Petershill 2. Super League First Division: Blantyre 1, Greenock 0, Cumbernauld 1, Largs 0, Cowanning 3, Winton 0, Relgan 1, Maple 1. Ayrshire District League: Craigmark 5, Ardeo 1, Muirkirk 0, Kello 2. Central District First: Callock 1, Larkhall 1, Johnsborough 1, Wishaw 2, St Roch's 3, St Anthony's 2, Vale of Clyde 2, Lesmahagow 2. Central District Second: Forth 2, Cambuslang 0, Gartcairn 1, Lanark 0, Royal Albert 0, East Kilbride 3, Vale of Leven 2, Glasgow Perthshire 2. Central League Cup Round 1: Clydebank 0, Closithe 1. Ayrshire Weekly Press Round 1: Glenafton 5, Lugat 1, Whitlets 1, Govan 2, Davil 1, Auchinleck Talbot 4, Kilbundy 0, Cumnock Juniors 1, Anbank 0, Beath Juniors 5. And just back to that Central League Cup, the all-important sponsors were Euroscot Ing. Now, I was at Guy's Meadow where the score was Cumbernauld United 1, Largs Thistle 0. Now, Thistle suffered something of a hammer blow when they unexpectedly lost at Cumbernauld. Despite a dominant first half, they created the bulk of the opportunities in the first 45, and they'll be really ruining some of the scorned chances that they had. Kieran Friels, he was the first to go close, an angled effort which went crashing across the face of goal after James Marks had done well to get to the byline and pull the ball back. A marvellous cross-field pass from Mark Murray away out in the left back position found Marks again away out in the right, and his headed knockdown found Sean Pearce, who raced on, but his turn and shot went wide of the right hand post with the goal gaping. James Marks also tested the Cumbernauld keeper with a good run from the right hand side, and he cut inside and smacked in a really good effort which stung the hands of the keeper, who was diving at full stretch. So it was a really top-notch save. But let's say Cumbernauld were coming into it slowly but surely. They had a couple of half chances before the break. So the second half started, and it wasn't really the same as the first at all. It became a real midfield battle, and there was a few heavy tackles flying in on the heavy park. And on 79 minutes, Largs had Ross Lundy to thank. Again, it was another good move by Cumbernauld, who was certainly looking dangerous, and Stephen Mullen managed to fire in a left-footed effort when he was clean through in goal, which Lundy managed to leap and palm around the right-hand post. Corner kick. The ball again, it was like a pinball. Lundy made a superb agile stop, but the ball bounced back out again, and David Dixon for Cumbernauld made no mistake with a clean volley from the left hand side, which rocketed into the bottom right hand corner, giving Lundy really realistically no chance. So was there going to be a fight back? No. Cumbernauld certainly managed to slow things down somewhat. They were playing out the game near the corner flag, and there were a few fiery challenges that went in. Largs versus Gary Phillips got a yellow card after frustration boiled over. He chopped down a Cumbernauld forward while trying to break through. So it wasn't going Largs' way, and the full-time whistle resulted in raucous cheers from the Cumbernauld players and support. So, final score at Guy's Meadow was Cumbernauld United 1, Largs 0. After the match, I spoke to John Queen, the Cumbernauld United manager. Queen, a triumphant manager today, and Cumbernauld, you must be delighted. That was a hard-fought victory.
I thought it was a hard-fought victory. Two teams really gave their all today, I think. From my side, from my perspective in the game, I think in the first half, if I could synopsise it quickly, the first half, I think, it was even for 20 minutes in the first half. The next 25 minutes of the first half, I thought Largs were really coming into the game. We were a bit worried about that coming in, and we decided then and there, before half-time, we're going to make changes to try and press them up. The reason they came into it in the first half, or the last 25 minutes, is we couldn't hold the ball up front. We weren't doing that, and we decided the second half to try and either go through the gaps or over the top to try and exploit the Largs defence. That's what we try to do. And ultimately we ended up going 3 at the back to try and get the win because we're at home. We gambled with going 3 at the back, but we wanted to win the day, and we got it. I think we deserved it.
I think the goal probably came as well at your most industrious moment, because you were getting chances in. The Largs keeper made a couple of good saves, and then it was from your point of view, it was a top quality finish, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a great finish. David Dixon, wee Dixie as he's known, is a fantastic player. He's probably might well have been the oldest player in the park. I don't know what age Slavin is, but I think Dixon might be a year or two older than Brian, even, or 4 or 5 years older. But no, it was a fantastic finish through a ruck of players, so I wouldn't blame the Largs keeper. But he hit it the ball with his left foot, which is his so-called standing foot, and it was a tidy finish.
And it was a savvy finale, I suppose. You held on to the ball, kept it down at the flag. You know, you showed your experience in that respect.
We did show the experience in that respect. What we did is, after going 3 to try and be proactive and win the game, when we got the goal, we decided then we knew that Largs were going to throw everything at us, which they did. They went 3 up front. So we took off a midfielder and brought on a defender to go back to 4 and then try and hold the ball in the corners. So I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but to try and kill time, which we did do that last couple of minutes.
Sure. And ultimately, like I say, what does this now mean for Cumbernauld in terms of what's your ambition for the rest of the season?
Well, the ambition for the start of the season was just to consolidate the league. We've been in this league for 6 or 7 years, whatever it's been. We've always been mid-table, or last year we finished 4th, just outside the promotion places. Year before that, we were 5th, but most of the team left at the start of the year. All the first team pretty much left to go to Petershill and Pollocks and all these teams, Arthurley and things like that, Rob Roy. So we had to bring a whole new team in at the start of the season, and we just really wanted to make sure we stayed in the league because we weren't sure what was going to happen. But as the league transpired after the first few games, we thought actually we're a better side. You know, we're not a bad side actually. And on our day, we're as good as anybody in the league on our day. When we're bad, obviously we can be poor, but when we're playing well, I think we're a match for every team in the league.
And it was a tricky pitch today. I mean, we wondered if it was going to be on or not today, but it definitely lent itself in terms of the amount of drama there was today, in terms of
well, I think
there was some fiery tackles and whatnot.
To be fair, maybe sometimes the fans or even the benches will shout and complain about certain tackles, but the game's a whole lot cleaner today than it was 15 years ago. These wasn't too much that would have ended a career today or anything like that. Yes, it was a bit fiery at times, and there was the odd tackle, but from both sides, both benches, nobody would complain after the game that somebody was trying to hurt someone. I think it's just two teams contesting the game. That's what I feel anyway.
Okay, well done today.
Cheers,
John. With Largs Thistle coach Drew Walsh after Thistle's 1-0 defeat to Cumbernauld. Largs were well on top in the first half, but didn't get the result in the end, and it's putting the ball in the back of the net that matters, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think the overwhelming feeling we have, is frustration. Obviously, the first half, as you said, we were particularly dominant. We expected Cumbernauld to pass the ball well, and we actually come out and closed them and pressed, and I think we maybe missed 3-4 clear-cut chances. And probably the most frustrating aspect was we didn't really hit the target. We didn't really test the goalkeeper. So even so, we're in nothing each at half-time, and I think we still felt we were in control of the game. But the second half, I don't think Cumbernauld improved a great deal. I think we maybe dropped our performance, a couple of percent, and it turned into kind of leveller. Ross Lindy's had a couple of great saves, but probably, as I said, in the second half as well, the 3-4 chances we had, probably the most frustrating aspect is the fact that we didn't really test the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
We had clear opportunities and we've hit them over the bar or by the post, so frustrating. I think though, I think we need to remember that, I think, Arnie was saying to me there, that's only their second defeat in a year, in the league. So we like our wins, we're not happy, we're deeply disappointed, but we'll come back and fight another day.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the actual, let's say, the first half, there was a lot of, good chances. It became a bit more of a battle in the second half, like you say, and there was a few yellow cards flying about, and it became a bit more of a difficult affair altogether. Though Cumbernauld maybe were a wee bit savvy last 10 minutes, keeping the ball down at the flag. They wanted to hold on to that win.
Yeah, absolutely, and so they should. But we've got to be a wee bit more streetwise as well. We get caught into a couple of rash tackles ourselves. And sometimes being competitive, it stops the game. And if we're giving away fouls or cheap bookings. So again, it's part of a learning curve. There's several young players there that. We'll work with on Monday, we'll work with on Wednesday, and we'll go through some of the areas that we felt we could have improved on. There's absolutely no doubts that, in terms of performance, we could easily be walking away with a point, arguably 3. But the cold hard light today is we're walking away with nothing. So we are under no illusions that we've got to keep fighting, we've got to keep working. We're looking to. We're not chucking it. We're not sitting here thinking we're unbeatable. We'll learn from our mistakes. We'll lick our wounds, and we'll come back hopefully a hungry animal.
And just lastly, you've got a new player. He didn't appear today, though. Can you tell us a bit more about him?
John Craig is signed. He was previously with Beith. He was there for 10 years. Very good, very clever player. He can play in either width. He can play in the hole. So he's somebody that's probably a wee bit more quality, but we'll have to work on his fitness. But certainly, our intention of signing him was purely to try and improve a wee bit of quality in the team in terms of ball retention, in terms of creating chances. As I say, we're not sitting here today thinking that we didn't create chances. We did. We created plenty of chances, but unfortunately, we didn't really test the goalkeeper, which is probably the most disappointing. But we like our wins and we move on.
Great. Thanks very much, Drew.
Thanks.
So also in the McBookie.com First Division, co-winning Rangers ran out 3-0 winners against managerless Winton Rovers. Ian Cashmore opened the scoring for the Buffs, and a Ben Lewis double, including a penalty kick, made it 3-0. But on Monday evening there's been some breaking news, and Winton Rovers have appointed Sandy McLean as their new boss. So it's all change for the Ardrossan side, and Winton issued a statement to say that they're delighted to announce Sandy has been appointed as the club's new team manager. And they said Sandy has considerable experience managing the junior grade, with terms with Largs, an athlete in the Premier League, added to his impressive playing career. He is currently with Morton's development coaching staff. And Sandy himself said, "Tonight I've accepted an offer to return to junior football as new manager at Winton. I'm looking forward to this new challenge and working with some really committed people. I will be leaving my role within Morton FC Academy at the end of the season." So it's Winton, who have been struggling a bit off late, have decided to go in a new direction, and bringing in Sandy, they'll be hoping to get a change in their recent results. So the top of the Super League First Division is Largs Thistle on 37 points, 17 games played. Clydebank on 30 points, 14 games played. Co-winning on 29 points with 14 games played. And Cumnock in 4th place there on 29 points with 13 games played. So let's say plenty of games still to go there, and it's going to be a really exciting conclusion to that division, with the top 2 places getting promoted and a 3rd place playoff. And also looking towards this Saturday coming, it's the big Scottish Cup semi-final, the ETHX semis, involving the first leg where Beith host Co-winning, and Beith have issued a statement from the club committee. It says, "Please note that crowd segregation will be in place for the first leg at Balesdale Park. It's a 2:30 kick-off. Beith fans are to enter the ground via the normal turnstiles and will occupy the home dugout side of the ground and behind the top goals. Kilwinning fans are to enter the ground from the gate located between the changing room pavilion and the old stand, and will occupy the Eglinton Street side of the ground and behind the bottom goals. There will be a strict no alcohol policy. Police will be in attendance, and anyone found trying to gain access to the ground with alcohol will be refused entry, or subsequently found to have alcohol on them inside the ground will be removed. Also, anyone under the influence of alcohol will also be refused entry. The other Scottish Cup semi-encounter is an all-Premier League tie as Halford United host Pollock in the first leg. Now, into the Premier Division, Elvin Meadow drew 2 apiece with Petershill. Meadow were really looking for a victory. The game actually ended after 10 minutes of injury time. Meadow were apparently unfortunate not to force home a winner. It was, let us say, dramatic stuff. It was Meadow who actually they had to equalise after Petershill took the lead through McElroy in 22 minutes. Maxwell on 28 minutes netted for Meadow. Half time it was 1 each. And in the second half, Ryan Dees, he broke the offside trap on the right wing for smashing home in 58 minutes. And Meadow were hoping to hold on, but it wasn't to last as Peasy levelled on the hour mark. And that keeps Southern Meadow in the lower reaches of the table. They've only got 5 points from 13 games, so it's looking a bit bleak for them. 9 points adrift from Petershill, although they do have 2 games in hand. So thanks for joining us on Kick Talk Reboot for another week of junior football action. Goodbye.